Hi, this is Dr. Pete Butkins. This is step 7 in a 7-part series of my model on how to help your child who's using. Step 7 involves maintenance. I'm going to show you the #1 thing to do in order to ensure that you know whether your child is on the right track or not, and you know whether you're working on success. This is paramount for recovery. And you're dealing with a problem that's treacherous, it's very, very deceptive, it's the dark side, and if you haven't been involved in this yourself and you're not in recovery yourself, get in recovery, because this is a family disease. I implore you to do that. You will never regret it. Going to Al-Anon, finding out how those people cope is necessary. It's like learning anything else. You're going to want to get a good education and accurate information on it. Okay, so the #1 thing in order to maintain recovery is to find out and to be able to tell whether your child's in recovery or whether they're slipping out. This is a lifestyle change that usually takes years. It takes a year or two to get used to recovery, and then it's a lifelong mission. A person who's in an addictive state has a pre-genetic condition, which means they get cravings. Once they put this stuff in their system, they get cravings. They also get unconscious mental ideas about using. The memory of that exciting buzz never goes away. It can be alleviated, it can be quelled, it can be arrested for temporary periods of time with certain behavior. That behavior has to be repeated every day in order for this to become a reconditioning. So a person who's using is doing things like lying, cheating, stealing, acting out in some way or another. They're an emotional mess. They usually regress to like a 15-year-old state. That's probably average, even if you're looking at a 40-year-old person. They regress to an emotional state that's very, very immature, very adolescent. If they're adolescents, you're looking at probably a 12-year-old. A 16-year-old child's 10, 11, 12, because they don't pass through the developmental stages of maturity. They don't pass from puberty into adolescence. They stay at a pubescent stage where they're very volatile, unsure of themselves, very insecure, very jealous, not sure what to do with relationships, and they haven't developed communication skills that are effective. They still have a lot of the anger, the immaturity in general, the sensitivity to boundaries, the boundary setting, and when you add addiction to that, they're used to getting enabled because they scare people with their use. They're used to getting let off the hook over and over and over again. So your job is to maintain recovery once they get it, not let them off the hook. You have to hold them accountable, and this can be difficult because you're in the position of being the policeman. And you want to make sure that in step 6, as we mentioned in step 6, that you have mutual goals, so you're not the only one that's enforcing these goals. The way you know your child's in recovery is they're in some type of 12-step program. Usually 99% of the time, in my 45-year experience, I've witnessed that when a child is going to the meetings and they have a sponsor and they're working, a sponsor's like a coach, it's a friend who's done this 12 steps of a 12-step program, and they help the child grow up. They help the child accept the fact that they've hurt a lot of people and prepare to make amends. They get them in touch with a creative intelligence, a higher power. It doesn't have to be any particular religion. It's just the idea that they're not God, they're not the manager of the universe, and they have to get right-sized. They have to get humble, not self-deprecating, but reality-based, and realize that they can't do this by themselves. They need other people. A lot of people use the 12-step group as a higher power. The discouraging part for the family, and it's a real trap, is that the family a lot of times thinks that they should have done something, they should have gotten the person sober, and they have a hard time with the person getting in recovery because recovery is supposedly fixing them and you couldn't. Well, don't get into this. This is not your fault. Parenting doesn't make much difference. The people at those meetings that are working a strong program and going every day in trying to help others for free, those people are the experts. They know what this disease is all about. When your child's in good recovery, your child will want to go to these meetings. They'll find peace, they'll find serenity, they'll find honesty, they'll find a place where they're not alone anymore. They'll be with their own. And God bless you, they love you. They love you more than they love the people at those meetings, but they've got to be with other people that have done the same things, that have gotten through it, that don't feel guilty anymore, that are making amends and have reconstructed their lives so that they're re-socialized. They have good relations with their parents. They're respected in the community. Their employers want them on the job. They've redone their lives. And the way you know a person's in recovery then is they'll want to go to the meetings. They'll be talking about their friends at the meetings. They'll want to go out after the meeting. They will have an even temper. They will not exhibit acting out behavior. They will realize when they're wrong. Of course, they're going to slip every once in a while and say something they regret, but then they'll be able to come to you and apologize. Usually a person who's in a therapeutic environment uses. So you've got to be alerted for relapse. If the person's not going to meetings, they quit calling their sponsor, they're using. They're using, or they're about 10 minutes from using. But those are all signs that the cravings are setting in when a person quits doing their program. When they start lying to you, when you find something amiss, something awry, they're missing school, they're lying about work, they're not coming home after work, you've got to make sure that you call them on it and you don't just let it slide. The natural inclination is to let these things slide and really not call them on it because of the confusion, the chaos, the frustration. And it's a lot of it is fear that you're going to get it back in the same situation, or if you challenge the person on their behavior, you're going to make them use. Well, you don't have to worry about any of those things. If they're going to use, they're going to use. If you catch it early enough, you can maybe prevent it. But you've got to watch out and don't trust the person for a year or two. And really, you don't have to live in fear because you can't really fix the person. You can open the door to recovery, you can set boundaries, you can make decisions about how you're going to manage your house. And there's more on this in my book, No Relief for the Family. It's on DocPete.com. I outline the traps. I outline specifically how to set up the home as a therapeutic environment. And I'm also available for consultation at 407-786-1913. This is the last part of my 7-part model that I've got on YouTube. And this may be enough for you to do the intervention and set up the home. But I encourage you, if you don't call me or get my book, I really